before this visit, we saw last year that the Herald, which is the main state-run newspaper, actually acting on behalf of the government, ran a breakfast event for business in South Africa. If you link that to this occasion, you can see that within the circles of government, there's a realization that the only country that is keen to bail out Zimbabwe, that could bail out Zimbabwe indeed, is South Africa. If you look at the attitude of Western countries and other multilateral institutions, the country is just dry. There's no money. There's totally no investment in Zimbabwe. The little businesses that are there are just every other day closing down. So the country is desperately in need of capital to start to drive the economy forward. The economic blueprint, the Zim asset, is not moved an inch because of lack of capital. So what you see is the realization or the hope, the desperate hope that the only opportunity to get some capital to inject into the economy can be generated from South Africa. Having said that, South Africa is the regional, if not the continental economic powers. And secondly, there are a lot of former investors in Zimbabwe who still have strong interest and they understand the Zimbabwean socio-economic setup and the market very well. If you talk to some of these people, they are very keen to go back and invest in Zimbabwe. They romanticize about that period, when the glorious period when Zimbabwe was at its peak and it was stable and it had that promise which kept people hoping that it was the model for a lot of African countries, if not for all of them. So South Africa remains strategically positioned to help Zimbabwe economically. And politically, South Africa has continued to be a key player in the Zimbabwean context. In recent times, getting ZANU-PF to negotiate with the opposition, facilitating the formation of the inclusive government, even driving the process that led into the 2013 elections. And I think it's going to play a critical role in Mugabe's exit, because he will seek assurances for sure.
Now, Gideon, you mentioned that President Robert Mugabe is quite old. He's 91 years old. Let's first look at, in terms of a succession plan for Zimbabwe. Many have said that his wife, Grace Mugabe, is tipped to take over from him when he does eventually step down. Your views on that?
My reading of the history of ZANU-PF, it is a vicious institution that reacts violently because of lack of proper values and norms and so on to address political issues. So Mugabe has basically survived in ZANU-PF because of his dominance, total dominance of all the institutions.